Hello and welcome to Lord Fenton Gaming Plays Ultima 6 The False Prophet PC version. I'm your host Lord Fenton. In this Don't Panic the Ultima 6 The False Prophet PC new player guide, this video will show you on how to survive the world of Ultima 6. As always, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more new player guides just like this. Do not forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be updated much more. Why are these ugly red MFers are attacking me? How does combat work? How does magic work? And how do I survive this harsh world? Well, with this Ultima 6 The False Prophet new player guide, I'll show everything on combat, magic, travel, talking to NPCs, and much more. So let's go ahead and start off with the first topic, character creation versus character transfer. There are two ways to start out in Ultima 6 The False Prophet. Either create your character or transfer a character from the previous two Ultima games. So let's go talk about character creation. Now, if you decide to do character creation, it's just exactly like Ultima 4 and 5, where you get questions of each of the virtues. So this is what happens when you pick a certain virtue. So if you decide to pick honesty from round 1, you get +2 intelligence. So you go through the entire 3 rounds, you get 6 intelligence on your starting character. By the way, each of your starting characters starts out with the 3 main stats: strength, intelligence, and dexterity at 15. Now, if you pick compassion, that is +2 dexterity. And if you pick through all the rounds, that is 6. Now, valor is strength +2. Same thing if you go all 3 rounds, that's 6 there. Now, justice is +1 dex and +1 intelligence. So if you go through the entire 3 rounds, that's +3 dex and +3 intelligence. So let's get to the next set. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do is talk about sacrifice. That's +1 strength, +1 dexterity. Now for honors, +1 strength, +1 intelligence. For spirituality, you go through 1 round, that's +1 strength, +1 dexterity, +1 intelligence. All 3 rounds, you get all 3 points in those stats. Humility, you get nothing, not a zilch at all. Consider this like professional difficulty if you go all the way through, Resident Evil style. So let's go ahead and talk about how to actually cheese the system. Now, here's my suggestion for character creation round tricks. So here's the deal. This will take a lot of restarting your character, recreating your character until you get the proper stats on the 3 stats you do need. Now, to get to round 2, you want to make sure valor and compassion are both there. So this way you can pick one or the other. Now, also on the other side of the table, make sure honesty and spirituality are both in round 2 together as well. Now, if you don't want to go focus on intelligence, you could switch that out with compassion as well too. Round 3 should be compassion and honesty for that. So at least in round 3, the stat you didn't pick will at least be gained total 4 points, which is nice. And the other one will be straight up 6. Aim for intelligence first, because 30 intelligence will give you a lot of magic points. You'll be able to cast more spells, and you'll be able to cast a lot more level 8 spells more often than not, which is very good, by the way. Now, second stat you want to focus on is dexterity. Big time. After that is strength. So yeah, you definitely want to make sure when you do the questions, you pick the ones that'll give you a +2. Or if you're doing spirituality in 1 or 2 instances, you get +1 across all the board. So yeah, go for the ones I say. So this way you cheese the system and you get the starting stats you want. Now let's go ahead and talk about the other side of the coin. You guessed it, character transfer. Now before I do start off transfer a character part of this guide, you want to get, if you have the good old game version, Pixis Ultimate Patcher. It can get pretty buggy. Just Google word Pixis, just like I show in the description, and that's about it. So if you decide to transfer from Ultima 4 to 6, here's what you get. You get is 25 of the 3 attributes. Number 1, your EXP is cut down, so you start out at level 3 or definitely 4. 4 is the most likely the highest you start out with. So what about starting out from Ultima 5 to 6? Well, the bonuses are actually bigger. So when you transfer from 4 or 5, you just pick the drive that your character's on, that's it. Yeah, back in the day they used floppies. But anyways, for the 3 attributes or stats I should say, you get 30. So yeah, you already start out at a capped character, so you don't have to really worry about the shrine no more. That is great. You still have to level up 3 to 4, but that's alright. That's how it rolls. Now, for both games you transfer from, you can have a new name. You could change sex if you want to, because if you got tired playing a male or tired playing a female, there you go, just for giggles as well. And the portraits, which is very neat. And the 3 portraits, if you do the male, they're from the cover of, you guessed it, from the 3 Ultima games, which is 4, 5, and this one. So that's about it for character creation versus character transfer. For the next part of this guide, we'll go ahead and definitely talk about, you guessed it everyone, keyboard commands. Here are the controls, aka keyboard commands for Ultima 6 to False Prophet. You can use the mouse to move around, or better yet, use the up arrow to move up, down arrow to move down, left arrow to move left, or right arrow on the keyboard to move right. A is to attack your foes. B is to start and end combat. C is to cast magic, long as you have reagents and of course magic points. D is to drop items from your inventory. G is to get items. Just be careful on what do you get, because if you get something that someone owns, that is stealing, you lose karma. That is not good. More on that later on, by the way, karma. L is to look at object or person, so it's like an inspection system. So before you attack, good idea to always look at foes or people. If they have a, I should say, portrait, they're not foes. So let's move on to the next set of keyboard commands. Now for M, you want to use that to move objects. Now here's the deal about that. You can move objects around from someone's house as long as you don't take it. You don't lose karma over it. R is to rest in the wilderness, or if you're on a ship, to repair a hull. By the way, in Ultima 6, the repairing on the ship is a lot better. T is to talk to people or certain objects, like for instance shrines. U is to use item or objects in the world. F1 to F8 show party members' inventory. So if you want to, for example, look at the avatar's inventory, you hit F1. F10 show party status. So if someone's poisoning your party, good idea to get them cured. Tab switch cursors between field and inventory. Now the number keys 1 to 8, that is switch into solo mode for the party member you want to go in solo mode with. So in the 4th party slot, for example, you hit number 4, they're in solo mode, they can attack, they can do whatever they want. Number 9 swaps from solo mode of that party member into party mode if they're all nearby. If they're separate, you cannot go into party mode. Control H turns help mode on and off if you want to go through that. Control Q quits the game, it gets you back to MS-DOS. Control R restores the game in case things go bad, while Control S saves your game. Finally, Control Z is sound on and off. Now there's a few more keyboard commands I left out intentionally on purpose, so those you have to discover on your own. So let's go ahead and talk about the UI next. I'm gonna go ahead and go over to UI. You can also use, you guessed it everyone, mouse commands. Yeah, your mouse cursor. So this is your window here of the world, so this way you see it. And it's a bit about half the size because of UI, but still it's good. Now this sword icon is to attack objects and foes. This lightning icon is to cast spells, again, as long as you have reagents and of course I should say magic points. Now that is the talk function there. The I is the look, so you can look at people and objects, like for example this mug here. There you go, there's Ilolo, there he is. That is the get icon. The one next to it is the drop icon. That one is the move icon. Yeah, you move stuff around. And this one here is the use icon. The Z's, that is your camping status there if you want to go camping and such, which is fine. And that gets you in and out of combat. Now above the icons, that is the day you're at, like for example, first of the month or so, and that's your direction to win. That's your status. Above the status is day and night status too. Yeah, you can move that around, see who they are. You click someone there to show of course the, there you go, that is your status menu, or ZATs in the older games. Strength, dexterity, intelligence. That's your magic, health, levels, and such. I'll go over that next to stats. This is your inventory, you can check it out. You use that to move everybody else's inventory as well. On the bottom screen, that is your talking, we call it window, your combat window, or anything else of the matter. You can go into bags and more to look at it too. We'll get to inventory a little bit later. That's about it. Next part of this guide will be the 3 stats. In this section, I'm going over the stats of Ultima 6. They work a little bit different than 4 and 5. So here we go. Strength is how much damage you could do with strength-based weapons. Yes, stats now dictate type of weapons and what type of damage it could do. So if you have strength-based weapons, like for example 2-handed swords, you'll do a lot of damage with high strength. Strength also allows you to carry how much stones. So if you have 30 strength, you can carry up to 60 stones. Yes, items have weight in the game, so you don't have to start balancing party members out on what they could carry and more. Dex increases chance to hit and evade damage. Also, Dex makes it more likely your turn in combat. Dex is also how hard you hit with Dex-based weapons. So that's very important, like for example, bows and arrows. Intelligence innate gives you how much magic points you have. Now, this is different. Avatar, male or female, magic points double based on innate. So if the avatar, for instance, has 30 innate, the avatar gets 60 magic points. Now, bards and rangers, there's certain ones like Ilolo or Shimino, get their magic points cut in half based on their innate. So if, for instance, Shimino has 30 innate, and then of course he'll have 15 magic points. Same thing with Ilolo as well. And I didn't list it. I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. Higher the intelligence, more likely you can connect with wand damage. So if you use the lightning wand, you have 30 intelligence, you'll connect more often than not. That's about it for this section. For the next part of this Don't Panic guide, we'll go ahead and talk about is starting out and of course combat basics. We're going to go ahead and talk about starting out and of course push into combat. So once you're done with create a character or transfer a character, you're about to be thrust into the throne room. So if you watch the cutscene where you escape from the gargoyles and you're about to be sacrificed your main character, well, 3 of them follow you around. So this is basically basics about combat. So I'm going to go over combat, the general basics. Now, each of the characters have a turn. So it's my turn right now, so I have to do is attack this gargoyle with sword. So use the attack, I say button, or I say attack icon. Now it's everybody else's turn. It's going from the gargoyles. Gargoyles hit Shimino. Shimino attack as well. So definitely pay attention to the right side of the screen. The upper part, you want to pay attention to your hit points. So your hit points go down to 0, you die. If the avatar dies, you get sent back to Lord British. He'll revive you, but you lose EXP points. Now you see already Dupree took some damage. Now if we kill all 3 gargoyles, which this demonstration I'm going to show, as total victory. So rule of thumb is for combat basics learning, find out who's the spellcaster and take out that spellcaster. If not, take out the nearest enemies. Now I'll go over advanced tactics later on, but for now this is just combat 101. So yeah, this is turn based. So if it shows your character's name, that means it's your turn to attack. Remember that. And yeah, it's a little bit slow, but not slow as of course Ultima 4 and 5, which you have to control every character. This game, you really just control yourself. Now the only time you don't control your main character is if your main character, he or she, gets paralyzed or stunned. That happens, then it goes to number 2, which is Dupree. So we're just about to finish off these gargoyles. Yeah, we're about to slay them all. So definitely rule of thumb when you start out, don't panic, don't worry. You got 3 other good party members with you. So definitely remember that. So if you do transfer a character over, you have a little bit of advantage, especially if you're from Ultima 6. We're going to go ahead and just finish this fool off, and there you go. Now the next section we're going to go ahead and talk about is, you guessed it everyone, looting and of course karma. When you do achieve victory in combat, there are bodies. Don't do to get the bodies. What happens is you carry the whole body. No, you have to use the eye icon, aka the look keyboard stroke, and look at the body. So let's go ahead and just do that. So when you do the look, you pull things out of the body and then search it. So for example, we're finding a club, a boomerang, a leather helm, and a shield. So you want to get some of those. Now do be careful on what you get, for a few reasons. Number 1, there's some items that are not sold that's in shops. So yeah, you don't want to get certain items like that. There are certain items you cannot sell at all. And other times there's items you really want, like for example, a whole bunch of spears, swords, for example, and leather armor plus cloth armor you can sell here in the city of Britain as well. Yeah, just use the L button to keep on searching and more. Now I'm going to go ahead and talk about the next section while I'm searching is karma and how it works in Ultima 6. So after getting permission from, for example, Lord British in the castle, you could take anything what you want in Castle Britannia. But once you get outside, unless a certain NPC says, oh, you could take some stuff in my home or such like that, yeah, the rules do apply. So let's go ahead and talk about karma gains. Meditate at a shrine for the first time. So when you meditate, like for example, at the Shrine of Compassion for the very first time, when you have the mantra and anything else, yeah, you get karma points out of that. Now, doing quests and or tasks will also give you karma as well. So, for example, if you deliver a certain egg to a certain NPC, you get some karma points out of it. Now, here's some karma loss. So, once you leave the castle, if you decide to steal from homes, etc., without permission from the owner, you will get karma loss. Using the pickpocket spell on an NPC to get an item will result in a karma loss as well. Now, if you get angry at a certain NPC, yeah, like for example, Chuckles, or you attack peaceful animals out in the world, like for example, a dog or a cat, you lose some karma. I'm going to give you a hint. If they attack you, you hit them back. In other words, you don't see a portrait on them. They hit you. Go ahead and fight right back at them. Now, kill NPCs with a portrait or peaceful animals will result in karma loss. A heavy karma loss, in fact. Again, if an animal hits you first, then you hit them back. There's a certain group of animals there in the game that will try to kill you. You know when you see it. And there's also one more thing that could cause karma loss, but that's part of the story. I'm not going to spoil, but still, you start out with 75 karma. You're capped at 99. Don't panic at all if you use the certain keyboard command to show you karma and you lost some. You can easily get it back later on in the game. There's so many tasks you could do and such. And there's shrines as well. That's about it for this section. So for the next section, we're going to go ahead and talk about is the inventory system. The inventory system in Ultima 6, the False Prophet, can be a real nightmare. So do not worry at all. What I'm going to go ahead and do is talk about how to manage the inventory system and, of course, turn things around for you this way. I'm also going to go ahead and give some inventory tactics as well. You're saying, why is that? Well, things weigh a lot in the games from time to time, so you're going to need to manage that. So, as always, have separate bags. For example, these reagents, we're going to put them all in one bag. So, we're going to organize that as well. So, make sure you grab everything, and then, of course, use the M command, move command, to move to the bag you want to do. Now, another tactic is to start assigning certain party members to what type of items. So, for instance, if you want someone to carry a skiff, good idea to have someone like Dupree to do so. If you want to carry all the rune stones, have your main character or someone else in the party to do that for you. Yeah, good idea with, I should say, definitely story items with main character. Now, another thing is there's other story items. You could have your main character carry it, or others. In other words, share the wealth. Ask for a type of bags to hold things. Go for the small bags like this in my inventory. You're saying, why is that fitting? Well, first of all, they weigh less than backpacks, number one. Number two, consider them like a bag of holding, minus the, of course, weight thing the bag of holding gives to you as a bonus. Yeah, it's like a bottomless bag. Another tip from me is if there's any items that are useless or you're no longer in use, yeah, don't carry it around. Good idea as a rule of thumb to have for instance, a weapon, and then of course if you have a spell book, yeah, have some reagents. You run out of reagents, you have that weapon for you ready at all times. Definitely remember to manage your inventory. Get small bags, assign people, that's about it. Real simple. Just watch your weight though, that's the thing too. I'm going to go ahead and definitely talk about the next topic, which is, you guessed it, talking to people and get information from them. In Ultima 6, the False Prophet, talking to people can go a long way for you, benefit you, or even both. So we'll go ahead and talk to this annoying jester. As always, rule of thumb, ask for name and job. Now, when you talk to people from time to time, you see a highlighted word, like for example, clue. So yeah, we'll eventually get to that sooner or later. So definitely remember to always talk to people because they may point you somewhere else, give you a word phrase, or even tell you other important things as well. And if you ask for their job, which is the best part, you even find out if they're a merchant or not. If they are a merchant, then yeah, good idea to know what they sell, so this way you could buy it, or better yet, if you have the same items that they sell, you can sell it back to them as well. So for instance, Max in Britain sells weapons and armor. He sells, like, for example, one-handed swords. You have a one-handed sword you don't need, you can sell it to him as well. Once again, highlighted words, make sure you type it out. They'll give you more information about it. So let me go ahead and do that at least, or try at least lead job at least. Still, talk to people. That is very, very important. See, we're just typing the highlight word, and there you go. Now we'll go ahead and talk about the next topic, which is, you guessed it, the day and night cycle. I'm going to go over the day and night cycle. In Ultima 6, the False Prophet, there is a day and night cycle. So for example, if it's about to get nighttime, your vision, you're not going to see things that you normally see well in the daytime as well. At night, many shops do close, and do close, I think, after midnight, so do be careful on that. If you want to change it from night to day, go visit the inn and rest up. You'll get some of your magic points back, and of course, it'll change from night to day. Now, if you want to go from day to night, you have to use the camping system. You have to camp every hours. We'll go over that as well. Remember what's open during the day, and if it's at night, you know very well it's closed. So definitely seek an inn out. It'll help you out much more better. Let's go on to the next topic, which is the shops. The shop system in Ultima 6 can be really helpful for you as well. So talk to certain NPCs when you ask their job. Like Max here, he sells weapons and armor. So yeah, so this weapon and armor smith, you could buy, for instance, swords, spears, plate, leather, and of course cloth armor. You can also sell the same stuff that he sells back to him as well. Now this works for most NPCs and such like that. So if you find, for example, a two-handed sword, you have too many of them, you want to sell it to Max, go ahead and do so. Now this works for example, some of the food items in the game, if they allow you to buy it back. Also anything else like items as well too. Check out what shops are there and go there to buy what you need. Also go there what you sell if you get from certain enemies. Also you could turn one NPC who sells, for example, weapons and armor into the go-to person when you farm a certain area, like for example underneath the castle. So for the next part of this guide, we're going to go ahead and talk about a non-violent way to make money, that is trading. Now, for this method, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it at this very time. This method's trading is great to make money without killing a soul. In other words, no killing monsters, evil people, and such like that. I'm going to go over, I felt like, the best 4 methods in the entire game in order to make some profit. And I'm going from best to, of course, least best on the top 4. First of all, buy spools of thread from Airbeth and Pause for 3 gold pieces, then sell it to Leonard and you. That's the fat guy for 8 gold pieces. That is a profit of 5 gold pieces on an item that is 0.4 stones per item. They are light, hint, hint. So this is the very best method. Plus, everybody else can carry a whole bunch of them. And you go to Pause. And then, of course, you use the Orb of the Moons to get to Leonard and you. Another way, this just makes you stay in Pause, though. It's a bit lazy method, though. Less profit. Buy spools of thread from Airbeth and Pause for 3 gold pieces, then sell it to Thindle and Pause for 6 gold pieces. That's a 3 gold piece profit. It's not like the other one, but hey, you make some money. Now, next up, number 3, buy empty honey jars from Dale the Glassmaker and Minok for 5 gold pieces, then sell those jars to Zeke and Fifth Abbey for 7 gold pieces for 2 gold profit. Yeah, it's a little bit less profit, but you'll be walking from Minok, and then, of course, you have to use the Order of Moons to get to you to walk to Empith Abbey, and so on and so forth. Last but not least, buy cloths from Dendel and Pause for 15 gold pieces, then sell that cloth and Pause to Marissa for 20 gold pieces for a 5 gold profit. So out of the 4, the number 1, I said before, Airbeth to Leonard and you, that's the best way to go. You make a lot of gold. It'll help you out, starting out greatly. Also, if you have too much gold, start putting, I should say, certain pieces of gold in containers in the castle, but the limit of that you should have is about 1,000 gold pieces per container. Otherwise, you can't carry what you make. Just trust me on that. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the very next topic, and that is resting and food. I am going over the food and resting system in Ultima 6, the False Prophet. So food in Ultima 6 is very lax. The only time food's important is when you rest up. When you have rest up with food, you use one piece of food, then you regenerate some hit points. Now when you rest up, first of all, you could rest up to 9 hours, then assign someone who's a guard. Whoever's the guard does not regenerate their hit points at all and or get some of their magic points back. So keep that in mind. And resting, you only rest in the wilderness. You can't rest in a dungeon. You cannot rest in civilization. You can't rest where things you could block and such. So yeah, you have to rest. You get some hit points. However, you do advance time for 8 hours or whatever hours you're resting for. Now, when you do rest from time to time, do be careful because enemies could ambush you in the wilderness. So be wary. So definitely know when to rest and know when to not rest. Also assign people to guard. Another better thing is use magic to heal. That's a better way to do it. Then use an end to change it from night to day. Now for the next topic, we're going to go over some equipment and such. For this section, I'm going to cover all types of weapons, from ranged weapons, melee weapons that are dex-based and strength and dex-based, to exclusive strength-based weapons, and finally intelligence-based. As a bonus, I'm going to go ahead and toss 3 types of bomb-like weapons as well. So let's go over ranged weapons, as you see before you, which are dex-based. Sling, there's 6 attack, 4 range, and shoots unlimited ammo. Great starting ranged weapons until you get yourself a bow or so. Boomerang, 8 attack, 5 range, unlimited ammo. Again, another good weapon to have. They're found from gargoyles. So yeah, if you kill a gargoyle, go ahead and take one of these. As for bows, they're 10 attack, 5 range, requires arrows. So yeah, no arrows, no use of the bow. Crossbow, 12 attack, 7 range, requires bolts. Now that's a good one. Triple crossbow, same as a crossbow, 12 attack, 7 range, requires bolts. However, it shoots 3 at once. Problem with that is this: it wastes 3 weapons, so you can waste a lot of bolts, so I say avoid it. Last but not least, the very best ranged weapon in the game, and possibly the best weapon in the game in my mind, the magic bow. 20 attack, 7 range, requires arrows. This one you want to get, costs 300 pieces of gold to buy, and if you know how to farm some gold or you did some trading, you could get this real quick early on in the game. So let's go to the next set of weapons. Now, in this section will cover melee weapons. Most of them are dex-based. However, there is one weapon that is dex and strength-based, so it melts with the 2 stats. Dagger, 6 attack, dex-based weapon. Throw, range 3. Main gouge, 8 attack, dex-based weapon. It's offhand as well. When you put in offhand, that's +1 defense. So you couple it with another melee weapon, you're set. Spear, 10 attack, dex-based weapon. Throw, range 4. On a personal note, you get a lot of spears when you have a very good weapon like a magic bow or so. Sell the spears to Max and Britain. You get 10 pieces of gold per spear, which if you have 10 spears in your inventory, yeah, that's 100 pieces of gold right there. Throwing axe, 10 attack, dex-based weapon. Throw range is 3. Sword, 15 attack, dex and strength-based weapon. This is, I should probably say, until you get a glass sword, one of the best one-handed weapons in the entire game in my mind. Now, glass sword, this is 255 attack, dex-based weapon only. However, bad news, upon hitting your foe with it, you'll kill him instantly. However, it breaks the sword. I'm going to give you a hint right now. Save 1 glass sword. Just trust me on that. You're going to thank me later on. So let's move on to the next set of weapons. The next set of weapons are strength-based weapons. So here's the deal. You have someone with Dupree in the party. He'll heavily benefit from this. Club, that's basically 8 attack, one-handed. Mace, 15 attack, one-handed. Morningstar, 15 attack. However, it has reach of 2 squares. So you have that reach when you use it. Two-handed hammer, 20 attack. However, that is one of the second heaviest, I say, two-handed weapons in the game. Two-handed axe, that's 20 attack. That's the 3rd heaviest weapon in the game for two-handed weapons. Two-handed sword, 20 attack, dex, and strength base. Here's the deal about two-handed swords. They're most light two-handed weapon out of the 4. Two-handed weapons are heavy. Definitely want to take this if you're going the two-handed route. Trust me, I use this as a backup weapon. I have to pre-using this big time as his main weapon. Halberd, 30 attack, 2 square reach, dex and strength base. Very heavy weapon the halberd is. It's the most heaviest in fact. I think it's 18 pounds. So Yeah, it's really heavy, and you can only sell it at Serpent's Hold. So yeah, I would advise against picking them up because you have to go to Serpent's Hold in order to sell it. So that's about it for strength-based weapons. Now, here's the deal. Intelligence-based weapons are very powerful if you really know how to use them and abuse them. Now, the first two advances after certain uses, trust me, I abuse these throughout the game like crazy. First of all, let's go over the first one. Fire Wand, that has 20 attack, 7 range, advantage after a certain number of uses, so that it's always random. Lightning Wand, 30 attack, range is 7, advantages after certain uses. This is one powerful wand. In fact, towards the end of the game, or say mid to end actually, I have these as backup. U Staff, this has 4 attack, 7 range. Now here's the great thing about these U Staffs. Can store up to 10 spells in this staff with the enchant spell. Yeah, you can store most of the magic in it except for 2 of them. It's actually 3 of them, if I remember correctly, which is Enchant, Armageddon, and the Help spell. However, you can store every one of them. In fact, you put 10 charges of the Kill spell in there, 10 charges of Mass Protect, 10 charges of Mass Invisibility, 10 charges of Great Heal, or if you're really lazy, 10 charges of Untrapped Chest. Yeah, that's a spell that untraps treasure chests. So let's move on to the last set of weapon, bombs. Now this section, bomb-like weapons, note no EXP upon blast radius kills a foe. So in other words, if you think you're going to wipe out a foe, get EXP, this is a bad way to do it. This is like a oh crap type of weapon. Flask of Oil, 4 damage, 5 range. Now this next one is a Power Cake, does 30 flat out damage. It's a 5x5 range when lit. So when you have to lit it and then run like crazy. Now, this will kill foes if they're in a blast radius, most likely, but no EXP. Cannons, that's from a ship. That's 30 attack, no EXP upon killing a foe. It has a nasty blast radius as well, too. That's about it for all types of weapons in Ultima 6. I'm going to go over at this very time armor. This section of the equipment will cover armor, so let's not waste any time and do it. Leather helm, 1 defense, good starting out helmet. Leather armor, 2 defense. Wooden shield, 2 defense as well. Note, this drops from foes, so once you find something better for a shield, ditch it. Brass helm, 2 defense. Ring mail, that's a chest piece by the way, 3 defense. Black shield, yes, that's what the name is, 2 defense as well. Let's move on to some more. Winged helm, 2 defense. Scale mail, 4 defense. Kite shield, 3 defense. Chain cough, that is 2 defense. Chainmail, 5 defense. Curved heater shield, or heater shield in the game simply, that is 3 defense. I'm going to give you a hint. Hold on to one of these for later. Let's go to the next section of armor. The next set of 3 armors are very heavy. I'm just going to give a warning. Iron helm, 3 defense. Plate mail, 7 defense. Very heavy armor. In fact, it is the heaviest armor in the entire game. Door shield is 4 defense. Now, in this next set of armor, 2 out of 3 of them will give you plus 4 to attack. Spike helm, that is 3 defense plus 4 attack. Cloth armor, 1 defense. Spike shield, 2 defense plus 4 to attack. The gargoyle helm, this will give you 3 defense. However, certain gargoyles drop this. A certain MP starts out with this and is also in some of the dungeons as well. You know what it looks like. Storm Cloak, 0 defense. However, upon wearing this, it will negate all forms of magic against you. Very powerful stuff. Downside, vanish after certain usage. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Hold on to one of these, and if you get to you recruit Jana in the party. What you do is go ahead and pick Jana, whatever number she is in order. Have her search her own house. Take the Storm Cloak with you. Now, I'm going to go over the last 3 pieces of armor. They're very light. They're magical. And I do consider the best 3 in the game. Magic Helm, 5 defense, best in the entire game for helms. Magic Armor, 10 defense, best in the game for armor. Magic Shield, 5 defense, best in the game for shields. You could craft 1 in Serpent's Hole, and that's it. And it's also found in the Dungeon of Desert. That's about it for armor. So next part of this guide we're going to talk about is accessories. This last section of equipment will be accessories. Let's begin. Leather boots is what you start out with. Find something better ASAP. Swamp boots protect from poisonous swamps and marshes. Best in the entire game. Get these ASAP. In fact, I'll tell you where they're at. They're in U. certain weapons and armor merchant there will sell them to you. Get it. Spike collar +2 defense. This is a neck item. Your avatar cannot equip it, but 7 other characters can. Ring of invisibility, where it can be invisible, breaks after certain use. This is one OP ring. I'll tell you why. So you go invisible, you can cast magic against foes, you can also interact with objects, you can bypass certain foes. Very good stuff. Ring of regeneration can regenerate hit points after certain use. It goes poof. Ring of protection, +5 defense automatically. This is permanent as long as you equip the ring. That's about it for weapons, armor, and accessories. Next part of this guide will be the items. Here are the items for the game. Please note I did not, you guessed it, list any plot items. Yeah, no spoilers here for that. Torch can light up an area like the light spell. You have to have a hand free in order to use a torch. So if you have a spell book, then you put a torch in the other hand. Gem can show map of the current area. It won't show the entire world, but the area that you're currently in. Bag, light container. Yep, that's right, folks. It's the lightest of the 2 containers in the game. Get it. Backpack, heavy container. Avoid getting these. Get bags instead. Shovel digs for gold nuggets in certain places. So if you need gold nuggets, it's a good place to do so. Fishing pole can be used to get fish, which is food. It has some other uses as well. Lockpick can unlock certain doors. So yeah, if you need to get through a door, a lockpick's the way to go. You start out with 5. Now the other place it sells is a certain island. You'll know when you get there. Powder keg blows open iron doors and also damage or kills foes. If there's a door you have to get through, powder keg is the way to go. That's about it for equipment and items. So the next part of this guide we're going to go over is, you guessed it, Orb of the Moons. In the other Ultima games, you had to use moon gates to travel. In fact, you have a new item that will make the gate spell redundant thanks to the Orb of the Moons. The Orb of the Moons could get you to places you normally cannot get to. There's only a few places you still have to walk and or use ship to travel. So anyways, for example, if you want to get to you in order to get those swamp boots, you move 2 to the right where your avatar is when you use the Orb of the Moons. So after you use the Orb of the Moons and then put 2 to the right of the avatar, red moon gate appears. You go inside that red moon gate, you're there at you. Now here are the places you want to avoid at all costs until later on in the story or so. Shrine of Control, avoid that. Shrine of Passion, avoid that. 2 the void ones, never use. You'll thank me later. Shrine of Diligence, avoid that. The Isle of the Avatar, avoid that. And last but not least, the Slab. Yeah, that's the place where you're about to be sacrificed by the gargoyles. Well, guess what? Avoid that big time until later. But the other ones, they're safe to go to. So yeah, if you need to travel somewhere, the Orb of the Moons is the way to go. It will save you time, big time. So let's get to the next section, is what happens when you do level up and how you use the 8 shrines to benefit your characters. In Ultima 6, the False Prophet, PC, NES version, or any other versions, the only way to level up to get your stats is going to certain shrines in the game, the 8 shrines. So when you have enough experience points, you go to a shrine. Depending on what shrine you go to, you need to learn the mantra. And of course, throughout the story, you need the runestone to free the shrine. So once that shrine's free, you're freely level up. So for instance, I want to get 3 dexterity points. I have to go to the Shrine of Compassion. So once I say the mantra, the game will tell me something about compassion. Then it says you have increased your dexterity. Certain shrines will increase greatly. Other ones will be not worth it. And there's one shrine that is totally worthless. So I'm going to go over at this time a chart of the what you do get at what shrine. Here we go, everyone. Here are a list of shrines that you can level up. When you do, it's what stats you do get, or stat. Here we go. So if you level up at the Shrine of Honesty, you get +3 intelligence. You level up at the Shrine of Compassion, +3 dexterity. Valor, you level up there, +3 strength. As for Justice, +1 dex and +1 intelligence. Sacrifice, you get 1 strength and 1 dex. Honor, you get 1 strength and 1 intelligence. Spirituality, you get 1 strength, 1 dex, and 1 intelligence. You get all 3. Humility, nothing, not a zilch. Worst shrine ever. So plan accordingly. So for instance, if you have 27 dexterity at level 6, you just got enough experience points for level 7. You go into the Shrine of Compassion, you get your 3 dexterity points, you're capped at 30. So you're asking one more thing. What are the best shrines should I hit up with and plan? Well, you go for honesty, valor, compassion, and spirituality. Spirituality is used just to only cap things if they're, for example, certain stats at 29 or so. That's about it for shrines and leveling up. I'm going to go ahead and go over the EXP chart. This way, you know how many EXP points get to a level. When you do get enough EXP, you get the following. So in order to get to level 2, you need 100 EXP. You get 60 hit points upon leveling up. Level 3, 200 EXP, 90 hit points. Level 4, 400 EXP, 120 hit points total. Level 5, 800 EXP, 150 hit points total. Level 6 is 1,600 EXP. When you do get that, you level up there. 180 hit points total. Level 7 is 3,200 EXP. When you hit that, you will get 210 hit points upon leveling up, of course. Last but not least is level 8. When you get 6,400 EXP, you level up, and then you get 240 hit points. So level 8 is the cap of the game. So once you reach it, you're fine. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and talk about is the reagents for magic. In Ultima 6, the False Prophet, in order to use magic, you'll need reagents. Certain spells requires 1 or 2 reagents, sometimes even more. So what I'm going to go ahead and do at this time, at this part of the guide, is list the best prices for certain places to buy certain reagents. So let's go ahead and start that. Here are the best reagent prices in all of Britannia. For Spider Silk, go to Horus and Scar Bray. He'll sell it to you for 1 gold each. Now, for Sulfur Ash, go to Rydom and Co. for 1 gold piece each. For Garlic, go to Rydom and Co. for 1 gold piece each. For Black Pearl, Horus and Scar Bray for 3 gold pieces each. For Mandrake Root, Horus and Scar Bray for 5 gold pieces each. As for Ginseng, Nicodemus in the Deep Forest sells for 1 gold piece each. If not, go to Rydon. He has the second best prices. For Blood Moss, Nicodemus in the Deep Forest sells for 2 gold pieces each. If not, definitely go to Rydon or Horus. For Nightshade Fungus, I'm going to go ahead and say is Zoltan, who wanders the world, sells for 1 gold piece each. Otherwise, Horus can sell for 2 gold pieces each if no Zoltan around in Scar Bray. That's about it for reagent prices. I'm going to go over next is Magic 101. In Ultima 6, the False Prophet, magic could go a long way. In order to use magic, you need to simply do is use the thunder icon or use the C button to cast magic. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate at this very time. I need to get closer. Just remember a few rules. Number 1, this is very important. You must have magic points. No magic points, no ability to cast magic. Number 2, you must have reagents. If you do not have any reagents at all, guess what, everyone? You cannot cast magic. So I'm going to go ahead and look for a certain gargoyle to eliminate with the kill spell. Now, definitely remember, sometimes magic does not work on certain enemies. Sometimes it will connect. So let's go ahead and switch out. As always, equip the spell book. Now, for now, you're not going to equip it or switch back and forth between gear. Later on, you're going to hold that spell book religiously. So I'm going to go ahead at this time, paralyze the gargoyle to make sure the gargoyle skips his or her turn. There you go, gargoyle's paralyzed. Now, definitely remember, know what spells you get to use, know what spells you get to abuse, and from time to time, know what spells you can use to heal people. I'm going to go ahead and cast another magic when it's my turn. I'm just waiting for it to get there. And yeah, it's everybody else's turn. There we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do the ultimate kill spell on this gargoyle. Kill magic. So let's go ahead and do it. So if it connects and boom, it does. If not, it sometimes fails. So definitely remember that magic sometimes works, magic sometimes does not work. I'm hoping it's my turn again to demonstrate the kill spell. Yeah, this is from my trip to, you guessed it everyone, the Shrine of Justice. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead. Hopefully it gets there. I want to demonstrate the kill magic before we definitely go to the next section, which is circle magic. I'll go over that, and of course what levels you need for each of those. So let's make sure I do connect this time. Okay, everyone, wave bye-bye to the big ugly gargoyle. And there you go. We just hit it, and that's it. If it connects like that, that means it works. So let's go over the circle of magic spells from 1 to 8. All of them, actually. Now, before I go over the circle of magic in Ultima 6 The False Prophet, in order to get spells, you have to look for the same NPCs that sells your reagents. You ask them for magic. If you have the gold, they'll give you a sheet of paper, so this way you can move the sheet of paper in your inventory with the move command to your spell book. And yeah, believe me, you have so many, I should say, recipes or aka spells in your spell book, it will weigh you down some. So I'm going to go over each of the circle magic. I'll point out which ones you get, which ones you should avoid. Heal some hit points. You start out with this nice healing magic. Dispel magic cures poison, sleep status. Again, you start out with this. Create food, make some food. This is alright if you want to get it, but I say just buy some food, so avoid getting create food. Help, this is no reagents required. You start out with this. When you cast this spell, you teleport to Lord British. It changes if you're at night to daytime. However, this will cost you EXP, so do be careful on it. And no, you cannot keep on casting this to de-level yourself or then to go to a shrine to level up on that. No, it does not work like that in Ultima 5. Light spell shines a light in a dark area. I say use a torch. Avoid getting that unless you want to use that. That's fine. Detect magic checks magic charge on an item. This is good to have. So if you have a use staff with 9 charges to kill spell on it, yeah, good idea to check how many more you have left. Detect trap checks if a chest is trapped. This is nice to have as well. Ignite lights 1 fire. You don't need it. Get rid of it. Don't even buy it. Douse gets rid of 1 non-magical fire. Get rid of it. Harm deals minor damage to 1 foe. There's better attack spells out there, so avoid getting it. For the Circle 2 spells, you're going to need level 2 in order to cast these. Trap spell sets up a trap. Don't get it. You have your party members, certain ones with magic bows and arrows. By the time they try to get to you, they're dead. Unlock magic. Unlock a magic door or a magic chest. Get this ASAP. You'll thank me later. Untrap. This will untrap a chest. You actually will start out with this very powerful magic. Vanish makes an object vanish. Now, there's a certain trick with that. For instance, you could make a skiff vanish, for example, in one dungeon, and then make it reappear outside the world. Which I'm talking about. The next spell is a reappear spell. Makes an object reappear that you just vanished. So, vanish and reappear, get both. Telekinesis, move an object or lever from a long distance. You can be using that a few times, so grab it. Infravision, see hidden foes in the dark. This is a nice spell to have. I just recently found out about it, so get it. Sleep, put 1 foe to sleep. I'm going to be honest, avoid getting that, please. Magic arrow does damage to 1 foe. There's better magic out there, so avoid getting it. Poison, poison the target. Target takes damage over time. I'm going to say if you want to go for it, that's fine. Otherwise, avoid getting this magic. So let's go ahead and go over the Circle 3 spells. For Circle 3 spells, you're going to need level 3 in order to cast them. Great Light creates light in a dark area, much better than light. Peer, see map of the area like the gem. So get gems instead of that, so don't get the Peer spell. Protect, protects 1 target from traps. This is good to have. Magic Lock, locks doors or chests. You really don't need this spell, so do not get Magic Lock. Dispel Field gets rid of 1 square field in the area. Must have, get it ASAP. Mass Awaken awakens an area of people when you cast this spell. Wonderful to have, so if some sucker is asleep, go ahead and cast it on them. Believe me, there's a lot of people sleeping, so this way you can get information from them, or if they're on by in, you could use them to use their in services. Mass Sleep puts everyone asleep in a radius. Avoid getting this. Like I said before, by the time a foe is asleep, yeah, you'll kill them. Repel Undead, force undead foes to flee. The end of this game is very simple to kill. Avoid getting this. Curse lowers 1 target stats. If you're having trouble with foes or certain ones, yeah, this is a spell to do. Now, Fireball deals fire damage to 1 foe. This is a very powerful magic to use and abuse. Go ahead and get it. So let's go over the Circle 4 spells next. I'm going to go ahead and go over the Circle 4 spells. Again, you're going to need character level 4 in order to cast these. Master Spell cures poison on allies in the area. Good to have. Great heal. Heals one target to full HP. Get this ASAP. Seriously. Wind change. Change direction of wind. A certain item in the game, when you get it, does it free. So avoid getting this spell. Locate shows coordinates. This is just like another certain item. Does this better. Avoid getting it. Animate. Animates one object. This is useless. Avoid. Conjure. Summons one animal. Party members do more damage than the animal, so don't get this spell. Sleep Field, a field that puts people to sleep if they step in it. There's better ways to hinder foes. Avoid this. Fire Field does fire damage to foes who step in this. Fireball does better, so avoid this spell. Poison Field, poison foes who step in this. Again, poison spell will do fine. Avoid getting this spell. Disable. This deals damage to one foe. This is alright if you want to go for it, so let's go over Circle 5. I'm going to go ahead and go over the Circle 5 spells. You're going to need character level 5 in order to cast these. X-Ray, see through walls, really useful. So this way you can see foes in a room or something like that. Get it. Reveal, reveals all foes and traps in the area. Very useful. Get it. Pickpocket, steals one item from a NPC. This will hit you with karma loss. Unfortunately, at some point you will have to pickpocket someone, so you have to get it. It's just a one-time deal. You know when it'll happen. Seance, talk to a dead character. I'm going to be honest, if you know what you're doing, you're not going to really need to talk to a dead character. Avoid getting this. Invisibility, target will vanish. This is like turning a target invisible. So for instance, you cast it on yourself, be invisible. You go into solo mode, foes cannot attack you. You can use objects, you can cast magic. You can cast mass kill on a bunch of foes who are not immune to it. Really useful, must have. Insect swarm, some insects to fight for you. You don't need that. Your party members does much, much more damage than insects. Energy fields puts an energy wall in front of you in the field. Avoid getting this. By the time your foes get to you, if you have party members with magic bows and of course some arrows, they die instantly. Paralyze one foe. This is really useful, especially early on against certain foes. Get this. Lightning deals good damage to one foe. Now, Explosion deals AoE damage and breaks iron doors. You don't have a powder keg. This Explosion spell is a must-have. Great AoE spell as well, too. Let's go to the 6th circle. It is time to go over the Circle 6 spells. Requires level 6 to cast. Mass Protect. Protects everyone from traps and lava damage. Must have. I went through one dungeon without it. That was not easy. I went through another dungeon with it. 1,000 times easy. Must have again. Sorry I have to repeat it, but still, get it. Replicate copies a non-magic item. Avoid getting this. This is useless. Charm. Cures charm status. This is very useful. Demons in this game love to charm you, so definitely you want this. Clone. Clones one party member. I'm on the fence for this one, so you can get it or not get it. Web freezes foes in place. This is a good AoE spell. You cast up ahead, they get frozen, and then you have fun. Confuse. Confuse many foes in the area. They'll attack each other and such like that. Negate magic. Negates all magic in the area. This is like an oh crap spell. If you're having problems with spellcasters, you could get this. However, you cannot heal until the effects wear off, so just be careful. Poison Wind, AoE attack that does damage to foes, and also poison them as well, so avoid getting this. There's better ways to poison. Flame Wind, an AoE attack that does fire damage. Explosion is a better way to go. Hellstorm does AoE damage in the area. This is a pretty decent one if you want to get that. I'm going to go over the Circle 7 spells next. For the Circle 7 spells, it requires character level 7 in order to cast them. Now, here's the deal. Gate Travel teleports party to a moonstone location. This time, don't get it. You have the Order of the Moons. That does enough for you. Wizard Eye sees area with coordinates. Again, there's 2 items that does this, so avoid getting this one. Enchant. Store spells into a staff. That is a use staff. In other words, must. I'm sorry I'm saying it so many times. Have. This is I should say, game breaker because you can store certain spells into a staff. I'll go on that in a bit. Mass invisibility makes group of party members vanish. In other words, they'll be invisible. They cannot take damage from foes until spells wears off. They can do actions as well. Great spell to get. In fact, I heard this, that so many people use mass invisibility, enchant a use staff with it, go through dungeons, and that was easy. They cheesed it. Fear makes foes all run from you. I'm going to be honest, you'll be killing them by the time that happens, so avoid getting this. Mass curse. Curse all foes in the area with stat loss. If you have problems with foes, this is the spell to do it. Kill. Kill one target in area. So you target one foe, like for example a large gargoyle. If they don't pass a certain check, they die. Some foes are immune to it, like for example demons and silver serpents, so be careful, but still get it. Wing strike does AoE damage. Avoid that, there's better ways to do things. Energy wind does AoE damage. Again, avoid it. Chain bolt. This could be good or bad. Does AoE damage and damage can hit you back. It's a chain bolt, so it's kind of like the Dungeon Dragon spell. You gotta be careful with this one. Let's go to the final circle, the 8th circle. For the 8th circle spell, it requires a few things. Number 1, it requires you to get level 8. You must do a quest from a certain place to another NPC. Then go back to that same NPC who sent you on the quest to have access to Circle 8 spells. Now, there's one spell, by the way, that does negate that. So, but the other ones you must do the quest in order to get it. And yeah, once again, you need level 8 in order to cast this. Resurrect brings one party member to life. Now, good news is this is a spell that it does not require some requirements. You just go ahead and buy it in Cove. So yeah, you have enough gold, get it, because Resurrection, when you get to level 8, helps you out big time. Armageddon kills all except you and Lord British. Makes the game unwinnable. Now, this is a spell that you get, and then, of course, yeah, you have access to the others. You're forced to learn it. However, here's the deal. Do not cast this. It will ruin your game. You have to restore a save. Otherwise, you're screwed. You have to start the game all over again. Again, do not cast it. It's still there for a reason. Eclipse. All allies will flee. So if you're in deep doo-doo, you'll just run from foes like crazy. I hadn't run, so avoid getting it. Summon. Summon's a demon. They can be unpredictable. I would advise against it. Your party members are much stronger than demons. Time stops. Stop certain foes in their place. And I'm going to say avoid getting it because there's better ways to take out foes. Slime. Transform a foe into a slime. They're very annoying to kill, so avoid getting this spell. Mass Charm. Many foes will attack each other. So if you have a problem with foes, cast it on them. Just watch them beat each other up. Mass Kill. Kills all foes in an area. Does not work on certain foes like demons and silver serpents. This spell will clear rooms. I advise heavily getting this. Cast this in an area, wait for your party members, watch them all die, and it's fun. I even did a short on this. Tremor damage all foes in the area. I'm going to be honest, ever since Ultima 4, which Tremor was the best spell, it got nerfed more and more. Avoid this like the plague this time. Deathwind kills all foes in the area, does not work on certain foes. Mass kills better spells, and yeah, don't get it. That's about it for spells. I'm going to go ahead and give some magic tips and information, and here we go. For some magic hints and tips, enchant spell can be used on used staffs. So for example, you do 10 charges of Resurrect on the used staff. What happens is anybody of any level could use you guessed it, the used staff with Resurrection on it, for example. So this will definitely break the level rules. Now, these staffs can be used by party members who also cannot cast magic. So, for instance, you want to give Sherry a Staff of Great Heal, then Sherry will be able to cast it. You'll know when you see Sherry. Enchant many spells to help you get through the game. There are certain spells that would cheese it, so yeah, good idea to do so. Now, before I beat the game, I had about 2 staffs that had a total of 10 charges each of Explosion, and 2 staffs for the Kill spell. Yeah, you see how far I got through some of those dungeons, just like that. Each circle of magic costs magic points based on the circles. So, for example, Great Heal is a Circle 4 spell, costs 4 magic points to cast. You regen magic points based on your character level. So, i.e., your level 8 character, you regenerate 8 magic points after walking for a while. This is good. Cast Untrap to get rid of all traps, including traps on treasure chests. I have to put that in there. Great Heal helps big time in dungeons. So, this is like my oh crap spell, so he'll heal everybody up. Make sure you have enough reagents before going to dungeons and caves. That's about it for magic tips and hints. Now, for the next part of this guide, we're going over suggested party members and also what party members you should be looking out for. And also, as an added bonus, I'm adding what stats you should definitely go for when you level up them. In this Ultima 6, the False Prophet New Player Guide, I'm going to go ahead and show you on what party members you should get out of the party members I am listing. Now, please note, I have different characters all around. This will be easier to heal them and such like that too. Now, with this guide, you're not going to see the same characters, so I'm going to go ahead and pick the best of the best of the ones you definitely want. I'm going to go ahead and start with the first set of party members now. I'm going to go ahead and start first with the Rangers icon. So Shimino starts at level 3. Now here's the deal. His starting stats as follows: 21 strength, 23 dex, and 18 intelligence. Now I let him have his sword, his main gouge, as a weapon. So here's what I did when I did level him up to 8. 27 strength, 30 dex, and 19 intelligence. Here's the good news. Shimino will stay with you no matter what. He starts out with the game with you. He'll end the game with you as well. So let's move to the next set. Next up are the Bard icons. So let's start with Lolo. Lolo starts at level 3. His starting stats as follows: 20 strength, 26 dex, and 17 intelligence. At level 8, here's the good news about him: 30 strength, 30 dex, and 18 intelligence. Note, Lolo will stay with you no matter what. He could also split and gather gold for you. And I do advise giving him a magic bow and arrow. He's the best at that. So here's the deal. If you decide to add another bard to the party, which is Gweno. Gweno starts at level 2. Her stats as follows: 18 strength, 21 dex, and 17 intelligence. At level 8 is 27 strength, 30 dex, and 17 intelligence. You can give her a magic bow and arrow as well too. Here's another one as well. I did some math on her. Leodone. She starts at level 3. Her stats as follows: 15 strength, 19 dex, and 15 intelligence. Now at level, you guessed it, 17 strength, 30 dex, and 17 intelligence. I tapped the, you guessed it, the spirituality shrine twice. However, dex is at 30. I'm going to go ahead and move to the next set of type of party members. Next up are the Paladins. There's a total of 4 of them. So I'm going to start with Dupree. So Dupree, when you get him at the start of the game, starts at level 3. His stats as follows: 26 strength, 20 dex, and 17 intelligence. I gave him a two-handed sword. Same thing with the other Paladins as well. Let them kick some butt with that. At level 8, 30 strength, 30 dex, and 18 intelligence. He's like the ultimate warrior. Cap dex, cap strength. That's very good for this type of character. Great news, Dupree will stay with you no matter what. He has some fun with other party members as well, especially Lolo a lot of times. Next up is Sentry. So he starts at level 3. His stats as follows: 26 strength, 18 dex, and 16 intelligence. Now here's the deal. At level 8, with a two-handed sword, in theory, 30 strength, 27 dex, and of course 17 intelligence, which is all good. Now next one is Selgalin. Starts at level 5 with 28 strength, 21 dex, and 20 intelligence. Now the deal with him is he has 30 strength, 26 dex, and 22 intelligence, thanks to about 2 times, you guessed it, at the Shrine of Spirituality. Now, last but not least, for the Paladins is Gorn. He starts at level 4. His stats as follows when you get him into the party: 26 strength, 21 dex, and 14 intelligence. Now, what I did was I tapped him once at Shrine of Spirituality, one at Valor, rest at, of course, you guessed it, Compassion, in theory. 30 strength, 28 dex, and 15 intelligence. That's it for this set of icons, or say pixel characters. Let's go to the next one. Now for the artisan icons, aka the ladies. First of all, here's Julia. She starts out at level 2 when you recruit her into the party. She starts out with 21 strength, 18 dex, and 17 intelligence. At level 8, you can max her out: 27 strength, 30 dex, and 17 intelligence. Give her a magic bow and arrow, and she's good to go. Here's the deal about Julia. This is a special condition about her. If you kick Julia out of the party, she will not join again. So yeah, if you're planning on having Julia in the party, she has to be a keeper. She's best of this group anyways. Next up is Jana. She starts at level 5 with the following stats: 16 strength, 21 dex, and 19 intelligence. Now at level 8, she caps at 16 strength, 30 dex, and 19 intelligence. Some people go for Gianna because it's just 3 levels and that's it for her. Next up is Leona. Leona starts at level 3 with 15 strength, 15 dex, and 18 intelligence. Now, here's the deal. At the cap, that's 18 strength, 30 dex, and 15 intelligence. All 3 ladies should have magic bows and arrows, by the way. Let's move on to the next set. Next up the bat is Blaine. At level 2, this is what he starts out with for the following stats. 16 strength, 21 dex, and 18 intelligence. Now at level 8, it's 25 strength, 30 dex, and 18 intelligence. Here's the deal about Blaine. Kick him out of the party, he will not join again, and he'll say some bad things about you as well. So let's move on to the next set of characters. Let's go over the mouse, or I say one mouse. Sherry the mouse starts out at level 1 with 1 strength. Yes, it is true. 27 dex and 12 intelligence. At level 8, Sherry will get 19 strength, 30 dex, and 12 intelligence. Here's a great deal about Sherry in the PC version of Ultima 6, The False Prophet. Sherry can get into places no other party member can get into. So in other words, you see some grates or jail cells, Sherry could squeeze through it, get what you need there. Also, Sherry could go inside holes as well. I'm going to go over to the next companion. Here we go. The next one is the farmer icon. So there's only one, Katrina. Yes, the shepherd from Ultima 4 and 5. So Katrina starts at level 5. Her starting stats as follows: 19 strength, 16 dex, and 16 intelligence. At level 8 is 19 strength, 25 dex, and 16 intelligence. Yeah, give her a bow and arrow, just like Sherry, Blaine, the ladies, and of course the, I say, bards. Oh, let's get to the last party member. The last party member is the mystery icon. Yeah, I don't want to spoil on what party member, what type it is. You know when you see him. Bellim starts at level 2 with the following stats: 23 strength, 24 dex, and 26 intelligence. At level 8, this party member caps 30 in all 3. That's 30 strength, 30 dex, and 30 intelligence. This party member will stay with you no matter what. Also, this party member is the most powerful party member in the entire game. Due to the fact this party member could cap all 3. I gave this party member a magic bow and arrow, and I am amazed by this party member. So I'm going to go over my suggested party members you should definitely get from this point on to having your party. Here are the party members you should recruit for the entire game. So here we go, everyone. Number 1. You stay in the party no matter what. So give yourself either a magic bow and arrows, a 2-handed sword, or better yet, use spell book. Then of course give yourself a wand in the other hand. Number 2 is Dupree. Yeah, best paladin. So give him a 2-handed sword. He's good to go. Number 3, the only ranger is Shimino. Keep him in the party. Sword and main gouge. Those are the 2 weapons he should have. Number 4 is Ulolo. That's magic bow and arrow. He should have out of the bards. Number 5, Blaine, the only jester. Keep him in the party permanently. Again, magic bow and arrows. Number 6 is Sherry, the mouse. Magic bow and arrows. This mouse is very amazing because at level 2, Sherry will have 30 dexterity already. Number 7, I figured out the latest is Julia due to the fact she has the best stats there. Plus, she's 30 dex as well. Give her a magic bow and arrow and keep her in the party. Last but not least is the most powerful party member. You know when you get this party member, Bellim. Give him a magic bow and arrow, he's good to go. That is about it for suggested party members. Next up is combat and tactics. Now, there's a few ways going to combat. Go into solo mode, start killing foes like crazy, or go ahead and hit the 2 swords together and put 1 sword for combat. Yep, that's how combat starts and works. It's turn-based, however, it's different than Ultima 5 Warriors of Destiny. Now, for the AI, you need to set every party member to assault. If you do not, they'll like, I'll attack whenever. With assault, they'll go towards the enemies, attack when they can, if they could definitely see it. So good idea to make sure you see all the enemies. If you see it, many of your party members close by could definitely see it. See, everybody's moving up close except for Ulolo. For some reason, Ulolo's goofing off. But still, great idea to have 3 party members, at least with a 2-handed sword, a sword and a main gouge, or something else like that, or a sword board. While everybody else has ranged weapons. Later on, I'll probably say is 4 to 8 should have magic bow and arrows, so this way they do a lot of damage in the back while you help take care of them in the front. If you need to use magic, good idea to do so. Just remember to equip your spell book when you start to cast spells, otherwise you cannot cast magic without it. Other than that though, know your enemies, know what spells you use against them or attacks and such like that as well too. Just gotta be careful. If you need to retreat, that's fine too. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off, then go into the next topic of this new player guide. Here we go on the next topic, everyone. When you win certain battles against certain foes from time to time, they have loot. Now, looting in this game can be dangerous. Other times, they can be pleasant. So as always, when you search, use the eye icon or the L keystroke to look at bodies to search them. Just remember, they'll just start popping items out in order. And if you do see a treasure chest, as always, a rule of thumb is to cast untrap immediately. This is my first time. I didn't do it, but later on I start learning after a few traps has been sprung. Speaking of traps, just watch out for bear traps in the game or anything else that could be deadly. So yeah, traps can kill in this game as well too. So do be careful. Now, if you want to, while you're looting, move certain things out of the way, like treasure chests. If you want to move that north, then only loot what you want to get. That's very important. So for instance, you could grab the gold, but if you have so much ham, you just move out of the way by using the move command, move it somewhere else. So this way, you don't have to get it. That's about it, basics for looting and traps in the game. I'm going to go ahead and go over the next topic, which is traveling. First, we're going to start by land. There are 3 methods of travel in the game. Now, I will only cover 2. The third one's a spoiler. So anyways, when you travel by land, just remember, watch out for structures like mountains and such, and definitely poisonous marshes. Now, you travel by day, you have nice vision. However, you travel by night, your vision sucks. You have to cast a light spell or use a certain potion so you can see in the dark. Now, as always, a rule of thumb, when you travel outside of a settlement, use the look or eye command. If you see an NPC there, if they have a portrait, they are friendly. Remember that golden rule about that. So yeah, just keep on traveling. Sometimes you might have to veer off the path. If so, you definitely want to remember where you come from. Another tip I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody at this time is this as well. If it's your first time traveling and if you have some magic gems, guess what? You want to take full advantage of the area so you can map things out. You can remember where you go, or if you get lost, you can use that to find somewhere else. So that's about it for land. And one more time, I'm going to go ahead and say it. If you could get some swamp boots, that's fine. Everybody has swamp boots. You can safely go through swamps and marshes. Now I'm going to go ahead and talk about ship travel. When you cannot travel anymore in certain places in the world, there's the open seas and the open waters. Yep, that's right. Ships and skiffs. Skiffs are used greatly for rivers and such, also nearby islands as well to go island hopping. Ships, on the other hand, can travel the open sea without any problem. You just gotta have to bear with the winds, because certain winds will make your ship go slow. You can use the wind change spell if you want to. However, there's a certain item that will help you out when you ship travel. Now, as for combat, when you attack, you use your ship cannons. I'm gonna go ahead and say this again. You get no EXP for using those ship cannons at all. Another thing as well too, if your ship gets damaged, you could quickly hit the repair button, which is the Z's there. Yep, in other words, you rest, ship gets repaired really quickly. It is way better than Ultima 4 and 5, especially 3 as well with ships. Other than that though is don't be afraid of the open seas, don't be afraid of water, and one more thing. If you get yourself a skiff, hold on to it in your inventory. Make sure you have one party member to do it. I had to carry my skiff with me through the entire game. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the next part of this guide is, you guessed it, dungeons and caves. From time to time, either A, you accidentally do discover a dungeon or cave, or you get sent to go to said dungeon or cave. Now, in these dungeons or caves, enemies are much more tougher. There's enemies that you normally do not see in the surface world, or those are rare in the surface world, will be more common underground. Yeah, like for example, demons. You don't see them above the surface for the most part. However, they live in these type of dungeons as well. So yeah, your new enemies, you do have to be careful. As always, experiment. When you start out in a dungeon or cave, cast a light spell, or better yet, great light, to help you out greatly. Make sure you have enough spells to help you out too. I'm going to go ahead and list the following. You want Mass Protect and Protect spells. Either one will do, but Mass Protect helps you out greatly. The reason being is this, everyone. There will be certain traps, or worse yet, lava. you don't want to step on those. That'll help you out greatly as well against those. Another thing is you want all types of curing healing spells to help you out greatly on that. If you could get certain AoE type of spells, you could cast from a safe distance or so. Another thing you want if you're having trouble with certain foes is this. You want the kill and mass kill spells. You're saying, why is that, Fenton? Well, here's the deal, everyone. Sometimes those spells will kill enemies, sometimes they will not. The ones that kill enemies, yeah, you'll make combat a lot more easier. Another trick I'm going to go ahead and say, I probably will definitely repeat this again, is invisibility. So you have invisibility or mass invisibility. You cast it on everyone. And yeah, with mass invisibility, you're invisible. You'll attack your foes, or better yet, you can sneak around the dungeons and such. Dungeon caves, be careful of because there's traps there as well too. Yeah, traps could kill. So yeah, watch out for those. Try explore everywhere if you can. It'll help out greatly. As always, save your game outside the dungeon. Things go bad, hit the restore command, which is Control R, and that's about it. Don't be afraid exploring dungeons and stuff because there's some good loot and there's also items that you cannot get anywhere else. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the next thing in this guide is what's the best place to farm some EXP points. I'm going ahead and show you in this new player guide the very best spot to go ahead and farm EXP, gold, and loot. So this way you sell the loot for more gold. So from the throne room, just go south until you get to the lion statues, past Chuckles, Satan. So go right, you go in this one room, and then after that, you have to jimmy the lock, or use a lockpick to, or a door, I should say, definitely unlock that. You get from the castle. Once you get through there, there's some downstairs. This will lead you underneath Castle Britannia. Now, this method I'm about to show you soon is a great way to level everybody up. So, you go down the ladder. So, once you go down the ladder, good idea to always cast a light spell if you can. So, this way you see where you're at. Already, I guess I did that a while ago. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and cast it one more time. Refresh it for everybody at home. So, once you get to this point, all you need to do is just go south. And then after that, you go east. Until you hit a certain crossroad. So, crossroad 1. Yeah, we're go heading north, so keep on going east there. When we get to crossroad number 2. Yeah, there are giant rats here as well. You can kill them if you want to. This one, you go south. This will take you underground, as if you're going to a certain place. So once you're underground, this is what you're looking for. You're looking for a room underground that has Cyclops, I should say headless, and trolls. Now, in Ultima 6, the False Prophet, everybody don't get shared EXP. It's the person who delivers the final blow on the enemy gets EXP. So, for this demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and use Sherry the Mouse to farm some EXP, loot, and etc. So, what we'll go ahead and do at this time is move to a certain section. Now, I did this, decide to separate party members. So, I'm going to go ahead and hit the keystroke number 6. I'm only controlling Sherry. Now, at this time, I'm just going to go ahead and show you that I have enough arrows to pull this off. And yeah, enemies will attack you on sight. So if they do that, you can attack them. You don't have to go into combat mode. So use the A button, which is attack, to attack your foes. Keep on attacking your foes until they're all dead and you get EXP. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate right now. On the first foe, I will kill. So there you go. I had 2,050 EXP. Now I have 2,066 EXP. So I'm going to let this keep on going until after combat to show you the next part of how to farm this stuff and do it very well. We just won the battle, so this is good news. However, this was a small set of foes. That's up to 80 EXP. Now, here's the deal, everyone. Sometimes there's larger sets of foes, like for example, more headless and more trolls. There's always will be 2 cyclopses. So yeah, EXP ranges from 100 to 200 EXP plus. Depends how lucky you are. As always, to see any treasure chests, untrap it. Good news about this spawn set, after you did your looting and such, you can exit the level, come back. If you hear some earthquake sounds, like for example Cyclops, you could definitely farm it again. Speaking of farming items, you definitely want the following: spears, swords, iron helmets, cloth armor, and leather armor. So if you get bows, get that too. You sell it to the person who sells you bows. Yeah, that merchant. But the rest you could sell to Max in Britain. In fact, yeah, all these items I'm talking about, you can sell in Britain. So yeah, you definitely want to loot everything up. After that, just exit, enter the dungeon until you hear earthquake once again. Then kill the enemies, and then keep on doing the process until A, your bags are full, or B, better yet, you have enough EXP to go to a shrine. This next part of this guide, I'm going to show you where you sell your goods. Yeah, that's right, you just got from here. Here we go, everyone. Now with all your swords, spears, iron helms, leather armor, and cloth armor, or anything else you could sell to Max, we're going to get to his place. So from the throne room, just keep on going south until you're out of the castle and you hit a crossroads. Now I'm going to try to avoid a little bit of the crossroads, because from time to time there is a person that impersonating Lord British asking for gold. At first it's funny, it gets annoying. So anyways, you want to go east once you get into the city of Britain. So there's the 2 lion heads there. That means we're at the city. Now you could go around the building or through the building without any problem at all. That building will also, if you have any gold nuggets, yeah, will turn your gold nuggets into gold. And that's another tip from me. I'll go in greater detail in my final advice section. So you go through this building. Once you do, you get to a set of buildings. What you want to do after that is just go north. Now, once you go north, just keep on going until you hit Max's shop. I'll tell you what his shop looks like exactly. Yep, just go north now. Now, that's another set of wooden building. Now, there'll be one more. That's brick. That's it there. That's Max's shop. Now, Max here will buy all your, you guessed it, stuff that I just mentioned. Spears, swords, both types of armor, and of course, an iron helmet. Just be careful not to sell your own stuff, otherwise you have to buy it at cost, which is not good. There's Max. Okay, Max, we're going to say sell. Now he's going to point which one to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and sell the spear, or in this is cloth armor. That's 12 gold. And there you go. And also I'm going to sell the spear, which is 10 gold. You get a lot of money from Max that way. As for the bow, you go south of Max and you find a shop that sells bows and crossbows. You can sell that there as well. So that is how you get EXP, gold, and loot, and make a profit out of all this just by farming. Next part of this guide will be final advice. Here are some final advice before I do end this guide. Now, I'm going to give some extra tips. One of them is gold nuggets. If you find plenty of gold nuggets, make sure you drop one on the ground when you do the exchange in Britain, because you're going to need that gold nugget for something else. But the rest, you could turn them in for a gold coin, which is really helpful. Definitely go with the spells I suggested. If you have a problem with dungeons, put 10 charges of mass invisibility on a staff. You heard that right. And then use it on everybody to get through those dungeons. This way you can get to what you need. Now, if you're using a ship to get to a certain dungeon, you're going to have to walk your way back. Yeah, keep on getting ships is expensive. So yeah, good idea to not leave your ship behind and go through a dungeon and go through the exit, and that's about it. As for ships itself, I'm going to give this advice here for everyone. Yeah, buy 2 ships. In fact, put one either in the Intrinsic or New Magentia area. Then the second ship you put in the Moonglow area. Yeah, you're going to be going to some of those islands that's only reached by ships. You can use a skiff, but you're going to risk it being sunk or you all being killed very easily. And as for fighting in combat and such, definitely know what foes are there. If a foe's too tough and you're under level, go underneath Castle Britannia and level there. Speaking of magic, know what magic you definitely want to cast and use against foes. In fact, if these big foes, for instance, you want to cast a kill spell or anything else, cast at the center of the body. Or in my case, I'm using a use staff with the kill spell charge on it to take out this dragon. Yeah, other than that is know what to loot, so this way you can sell it very easily. There's some items in the game that's on the ground or on foes that you can't sell anywhere else. Yeah, those are useless. As for a certain item that controls the wind, I'm going to go ahead and give you a huge hint on it. It's in a cave, and of course that profession is R. Yeah, don't leave that cave without getting all the treasure, including that item itself. Another item, yeah, that does coordinates as well. Just look on Moonglow Island there. Someone will sell that item. Another tip is to get the party members. I definitely suggest it. If you are trying to get the 8th party member later, you could get Katrina for now, then kick her out until you get to a certain point in the game. You know when it happens. Talk to everybody. That's very important. They can give you knowledge and such like that too. As for lava, you see, cast the mass protect spell. Everybody could go through that. Now there's certain key items you definitely want to keep, like for example moonstones. But another type, after you use said item to free said place, you could either return it or better yet, just put it in your room. In fact, use your room in the castle to store a lot of stuff. You got carte blanche in the castle to steal everything in it, but outside the castle you do have to be careful. Also, definitely remember that karma you can lose, however you can gain it back by either doing, for example, talking to a shrine for a first time, or better yet, yeah, just doing stuff in the story. Take your time doing stuff in the story. If you really don't want to do anything else in the story, there's other dungeons and places you can have fun with. You can also do trade as well. It helps you out greatly to make some money too. As for books, there's certain places to get certain books. One of them will be very beneficial to you. Other than that, just explore, have a good time. This game is a blast to play. This is it for my Don't Panic Ultima 6 The False Prophet PC version new player guide video. This is Lord Fenton signing off. Thanks for watching and have a great day or night, and do please stay safe. Please subscribe to my channel for more classic and modern games just like this. If you like what you see, then pick my suggestion on the upper left hand corner or YouTube suggestion on the bottom left hand corner. I'll go ahead and eat this delicious mutton.